along with business in Hindustani classical music. I'm a musician, a very serious musician, and I work on a genre called as Gurmat Sangeet. So I'm a Sikh by birth. The entire Guru Granth Sahib is written in rags. So I propagate singing those in the rags because we also are facing the same Bollywood challenge there. So if you go to Golden Temple, sometimes you will find tunes which are अच्छा वो गाना सुना हुआ है. So trying to build, come back to our roots and culture is something which I resonate very very strongly with. So I want to find time to do all that. Okay, there is a slide on what are my other interests, but that one is very important. So you'll find, Meenu is in Pragati on Sunday. She'll find 6 o'clock. I'll leave the room and say, "Abhi mera class hai," and I'll have the class, my teacher to come at 6, and I'll be out 6 to 7:30. I have my class. I'll come back and work again. So that is the way I multitask, and I manage to do whatever I want to do. So somebody was saying you left. No. Please start it again. Just push yourself. Your khaki travels. Don't leave it. Okay. So what's unique about me is that I live life on my own terms. Okay. So just a quick rundown how we started, because there is a huge learning for all of you. 1990 we started as a proprietorship firm. I have forgotten to mention, or I have mentioned it. We started from home. Can you believe it? Work from home in 1990. Okay, there was one house which was a one bedroom kitchen, which was a rented house. So we would use the bedroom to sleep, and we would use the first room to work. That is the way we started. Okay, so don't think you need a lot of money, or you need a lot of capital to start, or you need to have an office already in the beginning. Everything starts small. Okay, so don't have to worry. Then we incorporated it as a private limited company. In 1995, we bought our first premises, that is the 950 square feet with the training room, taking a bank loan. In fact, I remember even before that, we used to do our training from our own house. So we had kept a boy sitting outside the room, and ITC was our first customer, so that nobody would ring the bell in the whole day. We didn't have those time things to switch off the bell and all. So we used to keep a boy sitting out, so nobody would enter. So we would have our first room as a training room. So that is how we started. Very, very humble beginnings. And in 1995, we thought this घर से काम करना story is not going to work. Building will object. Those times, those all things used to be there. So we said, okay, let's become more professional. So I think for you also, when you start your entrepreneurial journey, there is a point where you decide, am I going to be a single person, or am I going to earn by having a team? Am I going to work from home and keep my cost low, or am I going to go to a corporate office because I need to create an image, or I need a particular kind of a stability, or whatever? So there is no right and there is no wrong. Everybody has their own journey. Whatever suits you is best for you. But I thought, let me just share how we moved, and then you could see whatever learning you had. So we then bought our own premises, and we shifted there. And if you know, Pragati Software Private Limited, software word is there. We are in training business. So somebody asked, like, why was it software? Okay, so actually Pragati started as a software training company, and we took this bank loan in 1995. The loan value was 20 lakhs. Okay, and you know what was the turnover of the company at that time? Can you just guess? Just a wild guess.
5-6 lakhs.
5-6 lakhs. She's absolutely right. So our turnover was 8 lakhs, and we went into a 20 lakh loan. And the import of it did not strike me at all. Okay, because I came from a consumer product industry, as Ashesha myself had a lot of conversations on consumer products, and I'm in IT suddenly. So the whole thing was being driven by Pradyum, my husband. So I said, Pradyum, are we crazy? 20 lakhs का तुमने लोन तो ले लिया हम लोग दोनों ने. अभी ये 8 लाख के टर्न में प्रॉफिट कितना रहेगा? प्रॉफिट भी 50,000 rupees ना, कितना रहेगा? I mean, so then I decided, no, this software development is fine, but I need to now earn some brokada, like some way. So We had one more line which was training that time. Like I said, we used to train from home, chota mota, one trainer, or I used to train myself. Very few people know that I was the first trainer and the only trainer in Pragati that time. So I used to learn word in the night and teach it the next day because I was not from a technology background. I'm not from a technology background, and I run an IT company. So, then at that point of time, we realized that there are two differences between software development and training. Again, I'm telling you because he was asking me, how do you decide what journey to take? So, I decide when I look at myself and I look at Pradyum, the skill sets which we have now, they don't suit us for software development. Because software development means you have to be behind people and you have to get them to complete things on time. Projects, if they are successful, then only you earn money. Order to mil jayega, बाद में other people will walk out on you. So I remember in those years, I had some 8, 9 or 15 software projects. But we were not able to do any of them properly. Somewhere it's not getting done, somewhere design is not proper, somewhere the project management is not proper, whatever it is. On the training business, we were doing very well. We were getting great feedback. Okay, and there is a background to that which I will talk about. Why was that? So, one thing was to be dispassionate and realize we also had Infosys, we also had TCS, we also had all of them starting their journey at the same time. Okay, and they were really doing well. But then we realized, no, this is not for us. We don't have those skills, and let's not worry if we don't have those skills. If don't have it, don't have it. Let's do what we can do. So I think being very straightforward with your own self and looking at what you really are good at and what you can deliver is more important than what the world is doing, because everybody's on their own journey and everybody's unique. So I would always suggest that look at what you're good at and stick to that. So that is how we sold our corporate training division. We actually had good products, and Orient Pro bought them. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So and then we decided in 1997 or in 2003 to concentrate fully on corporate training. In fact, let me tell you, Pragati Software also sold computers for a time. We were distributors to Wipro. Yeah, yeah. But then long ago we realized that 2000 rupees a machine will not work for us. So I think the ability to get out of what you're not good at is something which we are very good at. नहीं जमता है तो निकल जाओ. There is no ego there कि अरे नहीं यार ये करना ही है. Right? So that was one good thing. 2007 I got awarded as an outstanding women entrepreneur jointly with FICCI and Barcelona Chamber of Commerce and Manhattan Chamber of Commerce. Another defining moment because if you know FICCI as it works, all of you all work with associations. We know works with CII a lot. Everything is there is about knowing somebody, and I didn't know anybody in FICCI that time. And how I got selected, I really don't know. But they were looking for women entrepreneurs. They were looking for people who are first generation business people who are actually driving the business. Because remember, 1990, if you were a director in a company along with your husband, what would anybody think? If you were another director,
it's driven by the husband.
exactly. Nobody would think that you're seriously involved in the business. They would think you're just the wife. एक private limited company बनानी है, एक और director चाहिए. So just get the wife to sign and that's the end of the story. So at that time, that was the way it was. And nobody would take me seriously. They would think this is wife. So I was very surprised when I got selected by them, and I went and did my global MBA again in 2009 at ESM. Again, wonderful journey, and I'll probably talk about it. How much I learned in that global MBA. So I think learning is something which, as entrepreneurs, we should always be ready to at any age and any stage. And let me tell you, when I went for that MBA, I was at the age of 40. So they were not ready to take me in the first place. They said, if you give you this fellowship and you come, you don't have much time to use that knowledge. So would rather give it to somebody who's 35. Okay, because and I said no, I said I don't agree with you. Firstly, I'll take care of my health and I'll work longer. Don't worry. Secondly, I think learning at any stage is useful. It's like how you use it. It's not so much about what age you are on. So that was a great So 18 months I was traveling to Mumbai, Barcelona and learning. It was a physical come hybrid mode. Very, very great program. And then I also got selected to do mentoring with Cherry Blair for the foundation. And today we own an entire floor at Lok Center, the building. We own about one fourth of that building. So coming back to the first part, interval के पहले जो बोलते हैं. So can you see that we started from a rented house, right? And by 2002, we had actually built properties. By 2012, we owned one fourth of that building. And let me tell you, those people who have worked with us know we're extremely honest. We pay our taxes on time. We have never bribed any customer. We are very, very honest people. We have always paid our vendors, partners, everybody on time. So it's a myth, sometimes people think business mein rehna hai to, you will have to manage, you will have to cut corners, you will have to do all ulta sulta, nothing like that. We just walked the path, and today we are so financially secure that if for some reason, God forbid, if the business doesn't work, we have created our capital. We have a strong, very strong network. So I think that's very important. Like, what are your financial decisions? Govind mentioned, how do you take the right financial decisions? How do you, whatever you earn, how do you use it well? How do you deploy it well? How do you invest it well? Where do you put your funds? I think it's very important. So interval के बाद का story. Okay. So somewhat just हिंदी फिल्म में होता है ना, there's tragedy in my house. Okay. The I mentioned that for me my family is very important, and I found that my father was slowly getting demented, and I come from a separated family. So my mother took care of me, and my father was not around when I was young. Okay, no problem. I don't have any. I never had any issues with that, because I feel if two people don't see eye to eye, it's better than they don't stay. I think for me that was a great blessing and a great learning to love my parents despite whatever happens. So in 2010, I realized my father is getting demented, and the people who are taking care of him, his employees, are misusing him and not taking care and all that. So I had to go to the police station, like Govind was saying, but I was on the other side of the table to file FIRs, etc., etc., etc. And that whole journey to get my father back. And it's very strange. You go to the police station and you tell them, "Ki सर माझे वडील आजारी आहे, मला घेऊन यायचं आहे." असे, पण तुम्ही तर डॉटर आहे, तुम्हाला काय करायचंय? तुम्ही तर पोरी आहे. असे पोरी असेल तर काय झालं? नाही नाही, पण तुमचा तर हक्कच नाही. Can you see the mindset when you go there and you fight and you tell them, so what? I mean, so what if my brothers are not competent or not capable or not interested, जो भी XYZ to take care of my father or my mother, then why should I stop it? They are ready to take their own journey and their own decisions. I'm the one to comment on that, but what about me? I should be there, no? So I never thought of myself as a woman. I always thought of myself as a human being, as a person. So my decisions were always defined by what a person should do, not necessarily what a woman should do. Okay. So then that whole thing took me 7 years to get my father back, get him home. It was a very emotional thing when my mother gave him tea, because he had left us some 25 years ago and gone. So he was totally demented and he passed away in 2016. The cases continue, but now it's quite stable. So that entire 7 years, I was not in Pragati. Okay. And I was talking about this backup, remember? And I said how important family is and how important your business partner is. Let me tell you, the whole 7 years, my husband and my business partner handled the business alone without a single complaint that you're not there. And he just allowed me to fight my battles and do whatever I think was right at that point of time. So I think it's very important to know that these things matter a lot. Life may tragedy will strike anytime. So it's what really defines you is what is important. Okay, I joined Pragati in 2017 with 2 straight years of losses and stagnation in sales. So 2017, Pradyum told me, अरे प्रीति नहीं हो रहा है, let's think of shutting it. And I said क्या हुआ, what happened? So saw the numbers, not looking good. I said वो तो सिंपल बात है, बंद करना है ना, वो तो कल कर सकते हैं, राइट? अभी गट्स है तो काम करना है, ओके? So I said चलो, you don't worry, I will see what I have to do, you just don't worry. So I got back into the business. I remember Vinu came and met me, Vinu and Anand Dhruv. Remember one night we spent a couple of hours and I was sharing with them this journey and they all were like very, very, I'm very grateful to even all the HR folks who have always been there because we meet everybody so often that we know each other's personal stories so well. And then 2017 I started. I got the business back to the numbers. Again, I'll tell you interesting. So between 2017 and 2019, we used to have our own training rooms, if you know. We renovated the entire training rooms and I said, okay, we want to run the business. We need to renovate them. So we put couple of lakhs, we put a lot of time, energy, got the best server, blah, blah, blah. 2019 the renovation got over, October 2019. And 2020 you are COVID. So that means 2017 to 19 I still could not concentrate on customers, please note, because I was busy renovating and she knows her husband is an architect, she knows how much time these things take, how much ever fast you do them. So then 2020 we are now sitting at March and the world is shut. And then what do we do? So now I think we were very lucky because in the process of 2017 to 19, we had renovated the entire IT structure. So that proved to be a blessing in disguise. We were not closed even for a single moment because our servers were up and running, everything was ready. So we just decided, abhi kal se we don't want to come to office, which everybody decided, but we will continue without a hitch. So we decided to continue. So like again, Pradyum, and we had this whole intense discussion. Okay, COVID hai abhi, you have a good reason to close if you feel. So entrepreneurs and keep on talking like this. We don't really close, but we talk. Okay, and I'm sure Govind and Anil will also agree with me. So we said, okay, now what do we do? So we took a two-pronged, very simple two-pronged approach. Okay, and I bit my words and I said, okay, we will close the centers. So when I wanted to renovate the centers, Pradyum was saying, don't do it. It's a waste of time. Better we move. Let's do online. That was in 2017. I said, no, but centers are what Pragati stands for because nobody else has centers in Mumbai. So we had the best IT centers. You go to a hotel and use IT is different, but you come to a proper IT center and it's different. So we had the best center. And I had to actually let go those centers because I thought it will be 2 long years, 3 years till physical classes will start. And I felt that I should just take this call, which I should have taken in 2017. So we went and reinvented the wheel. And we said, what do we do with 15,000 square feet now? Okay, what do we do? So we had the other thing that we again renovated them and gave them away to partners and other companies who wanted to rent out space. So we actually went and said, नहीं अभी जो किया था उसका कोई meaning नहीं वहाँ पे जाना है. So I think the courage to say, okay, our judgment was not wrong, but no longer relevant. I mean, COVID came, so it was not anybody's mistake. But I mean, ठीक है, it's not working out, तो not working. So I think the courage to take financial losses if they don't make sense to a situation is what an entrepreneur is. Just go and say, okay. So we went and then we did that. We said we have a two-pronged approach. No, the first approach was to get all these passive assets which we were always holding from 2012 to start giving us more money than what training centers were giving us. This is what we went and did. We rejuggled the whole thing. Okay, I was in office entire COVID from May. We got the certificate that we are essential services, and I started going every single day. I went to office during COVID despite my family saying don't go. I was like, forget, kuch hoega to dekhenge, let us go. Because if you want to rent out the premises, you want to renovate them, you have to be there. Can you do it online? Not possible. Okay, and also many of these estate agents themselves had closed because nobody was working. So it was a lot of pressure, a lot of personal contacts, a lot of things we did to get our place renovated out. And now we have uh, Meghna Desai Institute of Economics who operates from our premises. So we have Lord Meghna Desai who comes to Lok Center. So there's a lot of good which comes, right? So that is the second approach we took was we said if you're not going to be physical, then we have to be online. And please note, we were never an online company. हमें online का वो नहीं पता होता था. Because we're always a physical classroom company. We always felt classroom is important. And then we said, okay, then we started the entire journey of online, Zoom, etc. And then we were so blessed, many of our customers trusted us and started working with us. So COVID was a year which was mixed because the turnover took a hit majorly. The time got spent in again redeveloping, and every single day I would go to office. We paid every single employee, every single partner, every single vendor. We also paid bonuses which were promised. We paid maternity leave benefits which were promised. We paid retention bonuses which were promised. So everything we paid. But we renegotiated the terms, of course. I mean, if somebody was, and we also told a lot of people that as we are no longer in the center business, in the premises business, some departments were not needed. For example, I didn't need so many admin boys. Okay, so we had to tell some people anyway left on their own. Some people we had to tell. So in my journey, as Anil was talking about, sometimes it's very important to control costs. You cannot be emotional about it because to save more people you may put at risk everybody. It's better to be straightforward and tell somebody, look, you have this 2 months, please find something else because I don't think my business needs you. But taking that person, keeping him in the job and not paying like Kingfisher does is not something. I don't think that's right. Sometimes better to tell the person 2 months, you please go. That person may feel hurt about it. कि, "अरे, this is unfair and all." But at least you don't take their services and don't pay, no? I don't think as an entrepreneur I would be comfortable doing that. You take a service, you pay. You didn't like it, don't use the person. Simple. Don't repeat the mistake. But pay and move on. Not take somebody's service and not pay. Right? It is very important. So decided to. So now we don't need to run the business. Point 2022 down. We don't need it for the money. We run it for the passion because I think most importantly is somewhere whether you're an entrepreneur or you're an employee somewhere, very important that you should be financially strong. So you don't have to go to work because of money. You go because you enjoy. And money aata hai, so you're improving your net worth, but you don't really have to be hand to mouth. I think that's very, very important for all of us to see. Govind, I have some more time or I can stop.
It's all up to the audience.
Finish it, no?
Yeah, carry on.
Come again.
Carry on, I said.
Okay. Okay. So some of you all have told me that you all want to run your own business. Some of you all have told me. So first, most important thing, I will have 3 slides on just this. How you decide whether you should run a business and how do you decide what business to get. So first important thing is find a gap in the market. What is the gap which the market is feeling? How do you find a gap in the market? Most of you all are from HR background. All of you all are from HR background, which is the best thing because you get to interact with so many people. You talk to so many people and ideas की कमी नहीं है. When you talk to people, you will get ideas. So I think most important source of finding out a gap in the market is your employees because they have rich experiences of their own. They also come from multiple organizations. Your vendors, your partners, your friends and family, and of course other sources like stock markets, economic times, etc., etc. But best source is the persons whom you interact with day in and day out. We don't understand. There's a huge learning when we go and meet people or when we interact. So I love going and meeting my customers. I went and met Ashlesha. We talked about how her previous company was in terms of consumer products and blah blah blah. There's a huge learning I had, Ashlesha, with you that day. Thanks.
Thank you.
So when you go and meet customers now, when you go and meet your employees, spend time with your employees. Don't think it a burden. All of them will tell you rich things. So if you want to really be strong on the entrepreneurial journey, find a gap in the market. So in our case, we found a gap in training. As I said, I came from a training background. My mother is a teacher. My father-in-law is a PhD professor. So training comes a lot in our blood. So we had the choice, software development and training. And I said, no, for me, teaching becomes more easy. I feel it more valuable. I see happiness when I see lakhs of people who come and learn Excel and then they write in their LinkedIn profile, Excel certificate, Pragati software. So it's like you feel so good about it, no? So there was a need for IT training in the corporate sector. So if you go back and think 1990, who was there? NIT was there, Aptech was there. Shamkant has not come today, because he would have talked about
Yeah.
Aptech. So those people were very well known for student training. That also they were not well known, but nobody else was there, so everyone used to go there. But okay, they provided an avenue. Let's give the perspective. Till this engineering colleges started, IT, it was NIT and Aptech only. So we thought we cannot do student training. It's like too difficult. Why not we do corporate training? So in corporate training, NIT, Aptech have never been strong. That is not their forte. Even today, they struggle. So we decided, okay, let's get into the corporate sector. Okay, need was identified and we went ahead. So find a gap in the market, very important. Next point is finance is lifeblood. Very, very important is paisa. Not because you're greedy or not because you're, not because of anything wrong about it or anything negative about it, but see, it's important that we earn. So I think finance is very important. It's a very positive thing. It's not something to feel worried about or to have a negative connotation. If you have money, you can change lives. I may decide I have to spend the money, but first I have to earn it, no? Right? I have to store it, I have to gain it. So I remember at our times nobody was ready to take the loan. No bankers were ready to touch us. We had to mortgage properties. I talked about this 20 lakhs and 8 lakhs. So finally, to set the record straight, we actually paid the loan back in 4.5 years. Yeah, so we
So,
actually did
My
it.
question is, how did you manage? I mean, with your 8 lakhs turnover, 20 lakhs loan, you paid it, but how? What did you do differently to, negate that?
Good. Firstly, I was conscious about it. First thing is to be conscious of your problem and think about it like अभी इसको solve करना है. Not to run. See what happens if you make a mistake, no, you should not run away from it. So I was conscious. Then I also realized that, see, I was also newly married. I got married in 1990. So when you're newly married, you really don't know your partner's strengths and weaknesses. It takes you 2-3 years to figure out your story क्या है life का. Okay, so it's true. It's very true for all of us. So I realized that Pradyum's a great guy, but पैसे के मामले में उसको नहीं समझ में आने वाला. Okay, because if he has made me sign a loan along with him for 8 lakh turnover and a 20 lakh loan and not had a detailed discussion, then it's a problem, right? So when I realized the issue, so also remember, I'm also a mother, a wife, everything. So उस सब बीच में business भी चलाना ना, sometimes you do make mistakes. So when I signed, I probably didn't think enough. That was also another learning. So then I realized, no, the software development business will not give me money. It is a training business which is a cash business. Here I mentioned it. Because training में क्या होता है? You do the program, you submit the bill. You don't have responsibility किसने सीखा के नहीं सीखा beyond the point. Software development, the software has to work ना. बात तो नहीं आना चाहिए. But training is a business where your responsibility is there, but it's limited. Responsibility is there, of course. Your trainer has to show up, is to add value, all those things are there. Yesterday I went to a customer, they told me, Preeti, thank you for coming. Last time we took another company for an Excel training. The trainer didn't turn up only online. He switched off the phone. There are 100 people sitting to attend his training and he had told that client, I am giving it free. So free ka, he said, she said, I don't want free. She said, thank you for coming and meeting me. I could share this. Sorry that we tried somebody else. So fine. So there is a reliability even in training. I'm not saying that. but it suited us more. It suited our situation, so we went for a cash business. Okay, we decided that if we have to pay off the bank 20 lakhs in say 5 years or 7 years, that time they gave us 7 years. So there again, remember, they said 6 years, I went and negotiated. Please remember, always be ready to negotiate in life. No, always be ready to go and ask for a better terms. मिलेगा तो ठीक है, नहीं मिलेगा तो वाह वाह, no problem, try at least. So we went and said 7 years. So I first of all changed that matrix, 6 years to 7 years. So I had one more year का window. Then I went back and re-engineered the business. I said ये software development मेरे को नहीं चलने वाला. I don't understand software development. I understand training. Training is a easier business to understand than development. To me, I mean, this might be
Everybody
different
is a
for
different
different
skill
person,
set.
but I'm a BCom graduate. I'm an MBA in marketing from Mumbai University. I don't have that engineering mindset which Pradyum has or my daughter has. I don't have it. But if I'm going to drive the business, then I have to understand and do what is comfortable to me. So we went and did the cash thing. We went and reduced costs. Anil said cost is very important. We don't understand the value of how much we spend money on stupid things which we never need in life.
True. Very true.
So just cost cutting across. And when you're an entrepreneur, please remember, cost cutting is not only office; it's in every aspect of your life. So
Very
घर पे भी I still have a SX4. I can own a Mercedes. I don't take it. Even today I have an SX4 because I know that 40 lakhs more I can save and do something better. So, it's like the value for money. So, I think we reject the business, we reduced the cost, and we were committed to paying the bank on time. If I remember right, the first year my father paid. So, just to answer you again. So, he paid for me for the first year. I remember once I didn't have enough money to pay the electricity bill also. So, he paid for that also. Then, from the second, maybe after 18 months, we became stable. And we actually returned the properties which my father had mortgaged. So we returned those loans which he had given also. So Pradyum and myself very clear, we would not take the money, we would take it as a loan. And till today we never taken any money from anybody. We have always repaid it. And today we are a asset rich company and no loans. So I think I'll skip this. I think again we shifted house 7 times in our 7 years of marriage, and the office shifted. These are all things. There are no shortcuts. One thing remember, there are no shortcuts. People define business. I think this is again very important. So for me, finance was the first thing I talked about. Second most important, पैसा होएगा ना तो people रहेंगे. So for me, paisa is first. But you have to have money, and then you have to have people. So we at Pragati still have people who have been with us for 22 years or more. So there's a lot we do for people there at Pragati. Like we have Mediclaim, 5 lakhs for employees. Small things which all you people do much more of it. But thanks to all of you all, we learned and we started implementing, and I think it makes a difference. So having people along with you, I think, is very important in your journey. Like Mansi, now keep those people whoever are there with you. Do whatever it takes because they understand the business. Okay. What also works for me is razor sharp focus. I'm very focused. I don't change my focus. I will not know what my neighbor does. I will not know who's pregnant in the building. Seriously, I will not know. There are cases where I met somebody and there's a child and they said, "ये किसका है? Whose child is it?" They didn't I don't know. I never realized. So I'm very super focused. I'm very kind and compassionate. So I meet somebody, of course, I'll talk, but you won't find me going to anybody's house or attending a dandiya in the building. Nothing. I'm very focused. So between 1990 and 2017, my focus was daughter. So I used to say, ये मेरे 5 ही चीजें हैं. बच्चा, myself, husband, parents-in-law, प्रगति. That's it. उसके आगे मैं सोचती नहीं. Okay, today my focus has shifted to health. I think Anil and myself was talking about it. So I must emphasize to all of you all the importance of health. Even before finances, you remember, asset finance is most important. I will say before that is also health. So please, all of you all, take care of your health. I've started now, but you are younger. Please take care of your health from now. Health takes a lot of my time. I'm very focused on health. The other thing which takes my time is prayer and music. I come from a very spiritual family, so I would like to remain connected. Family and friends. So, he had talked about friends. He had also talked about friends. I have a different perspective. My perspective is friends help you to get ideas. May not be paisa. Okay. So if you have a good network of friends, you can get connects from them. You can get ideas. You can get references.
References, clients.
And they keep you grounded. I think. So for an entrepreneur, when you're thinking 24/7 on business, like Mansi also would be, it's nice to just go and chill and meet some friends. बात ही नहीं करना है business के बारे में. So for me, family friends are very important. I also put networks today very up. So again, this is the point which Govind mentioned. Networks are your real wealth. Please remember, even before finances. Because the network will only help you get a banker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Very
Okay,
true.
so please spend time in this networking events, and whichever networks you are in, please give it high priority. You don't know what will come out of it. You meet somebody, you have no idea when you meet somebody what it's going to lead to. So just be ready to invest the time in networks. You know, very important. Then again, I put wealth as a very important thing. I'll tell you why wealth is important, and that is across whether you're an entrepreneur and whether you are an employee. Many of us now we will fight a lot to get that 15% raise. Okay, we will do a lot to get more out of our current employer or our current uh, work, but we'll not think enough how we are going to save that 15%.
Mm.
Do we think? We don't.
You
We,
only think of
we
spending.
just think of getting that increase. We feel so happy. हमको last year से ज़्यादा मिल गया, which is good. You should be happy because you deserve it. But we don't think enough where to put that money. How many of you all have invested in mutual funds, for example? Good. How many of you all have invested in property? If so, spend time. Spend that time to meet your banker, your financial advisor, your wealth manager, whoever it is, and make it a policy to save wealth. Because every year, it's a question of compounding. I'm telling you, this is a mistake I made. So every year you lose. So Pragati traditionally had a lot of FDs, which was at 5.5%, 6%, 7%, 8%, whatever, 8-9% भी था तभी. And the lockdown taught me this whole lesson, and I learned to invest in the stock market in the lockdown. In with all of this story, I'm also doing stock markets. Okay, because of that global MBA, remember, which I had done, so that had already prepared me for it. But the father's battle pushed me back because I couldn't use that learning which I use now. So please don't think of traditional things like FD because you are every year losing 3-4%. And as you all are younger, you will have the benefit of compounding over a very long period. So please take care of your wealth. Spend that one day in a month na thinking kidhar mera paisa hai. We don't do that. Where I earned this much, where did I put it? Did I spend more than what I needed? So when I want to buy a sari, you know what I do? I go and open my cupboard and say, "You be itne sari aur kyun chahiye?" So I don't buy it. I don't buy another one. Seriously, because what value will it add to me? I don't really wear a sari. So somewhere I think spending, don't spend too much, try to invest. How many of you all have good mediclaims? How many of you all have life insurance policies? Please take them when you're young. Later on, you don't get it. Pratyum is not getting a life insurance policy increase because he has a heart problem now. Everybody has refused. So take them when you're young now. Take big amounts. Huh? Take 1 crore and uske niche baat mat karna because the cost of living will go up. Okay, so take maximum mediclaim you can get. Take your own private mediclaim. Don't only wait for the organization. Organizing of 5-10 lakhs. Take 30 lakhs. Take 40 lakhs. I have somebody in my building. He's the owner of a company. He's got cancer now, and he's spending like crazy, and his mediclaim is 5 lakhs.
Shucks.
Please take as much bigger mediclaim you can. Anyway, tax benefit to milta hi hai. So might as well do it. So tax saving is another very important thing. Spend time to see the tricks. So I always do that. I go to my chartered accountant and sit. Once in a month I do that story. Okay. And last in my focus is the business. So can you see how it has changed? Okay, my global MBA I talked about. So I went to Barcelona, did a global MBA. Opportunity when you get it, na don't leave it. I think entrepreneurs are very good with that. मौका मिला ना छोड़ना नहीं है, डरना नहीं है कि कैसे करेंगे. My daughter was, I remember she was 12 years that time, a tender age to leave the child and move on. Everybody was so supportive when I went, and I think what was in my mind when I decided to take that MBA. I said, my daughter is 12. What is the lesson I'm going to teach her? The lesson I'm going to teach her is opportunity छोड़ना नहीं है, कुछ भी हो जाए. Like so. When we work as entrepreneurs, we are responsible to create examples for our employees and as parents, blah blah blah. Okay. So COVID I spoke about already. Very important is support from family members. So just take this opportunity to thank my parents, my husband, my mother, my daughter, my in-laws. Okay. Another very important slide, especially for women. Support teams at home.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do this chindigiri, Don't please do it. Okay. Very important for entrepreneurs to have support systems at home, especially if you're a women entrepreneur. Maids, drivers, cooks, admin teams always handled my home. I never had to handle them. Don't shy from these expenses. They are useful and necessary to achieve your goals. Other things I'll say cost cutting, but not this.
Yeah, very true.
I'll share this. Automation is the key. Another thing, try to automate Atmanirbhar. You're an entrepreneur, try as much possible to do things on your own. Don't have large teams, Okay. Did being a woman entrepreneur affect the way people dealt with me? Yes, it did. Did it matter? No, it didn't matter. So I think can women have it all? A big yes.
Yeah.
Big yes. Big yes to it. Okay. So I think Govind talked about risks, so I won't talk about it now. And yeah, they'll mange more. So sit here at the age of 58, I still want more. Since can I not have everything? Why to be content and rest on your laurels? Always be ready to move ahead. Speed, quick decision making, don't delay things. I'm ready to work till the last day of my life. Work defines me. So thank you everybody.
Yeah, awesome.
Sorry if I've taken a bit more of your time.
I am okay. People are okay.
People are okay?